Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. God bless you all. I'm happy to be back with our afternoon reflections. God bless you all. Like I said yesterday, we will continue looking at the life of Nehemiah. Today we will start in chapter 4. It's titled Opposition to the Rebuilding. So I'll break it down to three parts: 1 to 6, 7 to 12, 13 to 23. God bless you. So when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, he became angry and was greatly incensed. He ridiculed the Jews, and in the presence of his associates and the army of Samaria, he said, "What are those feeble Jews doing? Will they restore their wall? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they finish in a day? Can they bring the stones back to life from those heaps of rubble, burned as they are?" Tobiah the Ammonite, who was at his side, said, What they are building, if even a fox climbed up on it, he will break their wall of stones. Hear us, O our God, for we are despised. Turn their insults back on their own heads. Give them over as plunder in a land of captivity. Do not cover up their guilt or blot out their sins from your sight, for they have thrown insults in the face of the builders. So we rebuilt the wall till all of it reached half its height, for the people worked with all their hearts. Praise God. So he has started building. Yesterday we saw where he put different people to work in different parts. So as they were rebuilding, Sambalat came again to start, it was to start mocking them, angry that they are now rebuilding because they thought they would not be able to do it, and they are just, abusing their work. What do you think you are going to do? What can you do? How are you going to do it? It's not going to be possible. How is this going to be possible? But we are seeing Nehemiah here that all his focus is in his God and in his work. He's focused on his God and in his task that he has got to do. He has no time for Sambalat and all his truancy. So he went back to God and said, "Hear us, O our God, for we are despised. Turn their insults back on their own heads. Give them over as plunder in a land of captivity." You see, he said, God, help us, hear us, for we are despised. So every situation, every challenge, he went back to God. I mean, this is really a man to study, because a person focused on God, he has his work, he has his God. Two of them working together. He knew that God had called him to do this work. So when there is any problem, he goes back to God. He praying throughout the season, praying without ceasing. That this is a man of prayer and a man of action. So I'll start reading from 7. But when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the men of Ashdod heard that the repairs to Jerusalem's walls had gone ahead and that the gaps were being closed, they were very angry. They all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and stir up trouble against it. But we prayed to our God and posted a guard day and night to meet this threat. Meanwhile, the people in Judah said, "The strength of the laborers is giving out, and there's so much rubble that we cannot rebuild the wall." Also, our enemies said, "Before they know it or see us, we will be right there among them, and we kill them and put an end to the work." Then the Jews who lived near them came and told us 10 times over, "Wherever you turn, they will attack us." So we are seeing the threat now, not just mouth now. They want to take action. That's how the enemy works. The enemy will try, to stop you doing the work of God. And when you continue, the enemy becomes more dangerous. The enemy now is wanting to attack them now physically to stop them, because it's not able to stop them, was not able to stop them, with mouth, because he was teasing, mocking them. They continued with the work. Now, this enemy now wants to go and attack them physically to make sure that they stop it. Relentless enemy who hates God, hates the work of God, doesn't want to see anything of God established. And now we are going to see how Nehemiah is, a man that it takes everything serious. That's very important, because the threat, he took it serious. When he heard about this, he took it serious. So it's a man that takes action. Sometimes when there are threats, we don't take them serious, and then the enemy will come and really attack us. So, but Nehemiah is taking everything serious. So I'm looking at 13 now to 23. Therefore, I stationed some of the people behind the lowest points of the wall at the exposed places, posting them by families with their swords, spears, and bows. After I looked things over, I stood up and said to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people, don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your brothers, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your homes. When our enemies heard that we were aware of their plot and that God has frustrated it, we all returned to the war, each to his own work. From that day on, half of my men did the work, while the other half were equipped with spears, shields, bows, and armor. The officers posted themselves behind all the people of Judah who were building the wall. Those who carried materials did their work with one hand and held a weapon in the other. And each of the builders wore his sword at his side as he worked. But the man who sounded the trumpet stayed with me. Then I said to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people, the work is extensive and spread out, and we are widely separated from each other along the wall. Wherever you hear the sound of the trumpet, join us there. Our God will fight for us. So we continued the work with half of the men holding spears from the first light of dawn till the stars came out. At that time, I also said to the people, have every man and his helper stay inside Jerusalem at night, so that they can serve us as guards by night and workmen by day. Neither I nor my brothers, nor my men, nor the guards with me took off our clothes. Each had his weapon, even when he went for water. Wow. So we are seeing the master strategist here. This Nehemiah man, he wasn't taking anything for granted. Fully armed, fully ready. That's how we must be. Sometimes you hear, God is allowing you to hear things that, plots against you. A lot of times, maybe we just say, oh, they can't do nothing. But we can see this man here. He took action. He equipped himself. He equipped his men. He made sure that they were ready in case these people came. And when they heard that he was armed, that they were armed, they did not go there. Sometimes there are times that we take action. There are times that we do nothing. It's not all the time that we do nothing. So it's always good to be aware of what is happening and then know how to go about it. This man focused. For him to be able to get his work done, he had to be on ground. I mean, this was, he was doing the work himself. Sometimes the leaders are not doing the work themselves. They are only delegating. This man was on ground. He was doing the work. Nehemiah was there with his men. He was working by himself. He was leading, he was leading them from the front. He was leading them. They could see a leader that they could follow. This is a leader that wasn't saying one thing and doing another. He wasn't telling them, oh, you go and fight and I'll stay here. He was with his men. This is how we must be. Because leadership means leading people. Means that people can see us leading. They can see that we are on ground with them. That we are doing the work. And then they are able to follow. Because the men were motivated. Because the leader was there. The leader was there. There was a lot of threats. There was a lot of fear and all of that. But because Nehemiah was on ground, he was with his men. He was with the people. He was not away from them. So they were confident. They knew that this is a man of God. This is a man with a mission. This is a man with authority. This is a man that has been given authority by the king to come and do this work. So they could follow him. This is the kind of leader that you can follow. A leader that is on ground, a leader that is with God, praying all the time, also working, also involved, also, caring for the men and women who are working. It's wonderful to see, what we can learn from this man, on ground with his people, prayerful, yeah, authoritative. I mean, has authority to do the work. This is really, really wonderful just to see how this man is. So the Sanballats and the Tobias and all of them, they've got a battle in their hand because this is a no-nonsense man. This man is on ground. This man knows what he's doing and he's not going to shy away. God bless you, brothers and sisters. This is all I will be able to share today. We'll continue as the Lord leads. God bless you all. Bye.